Hi, Marco here from Aponix, Germany. Sky asked me to say a few words on how I got into growing edible plants. So here's the short story for you. In 2015, I just started to play a little with aquaponics just for fun, and I ended up with 100 very hungry tilapia and 4,000 liters of liquid running in my basement. So I completely underestimated how much plants I need to counterbalance all the nutrients that were coming from the fish. So I took a look at the market for vertical systems to grow plants, and all the solutions I saw at the time, they were either too expensive or complicated, or it didn't really fit my need. So I thought, well, let's build it from scratch. So I started with some industrial yogurt jars, drilled some holes, and it was a huge mess. So I had to do it more thoroughly and do a CAD design. And this was when the vertical barrel of Aponix was practically born. So as I was engineering and building my new product, of course, I took a look at other farming operations, vertical ones, huge ones outside on the field, smaller ones, to get some inspiration and see how also the processes behind work. And what I discovered was there's so much more to it than just grow plants for profit. You can add other dimensions to it, especially if you integrate it into the urban metabolism. So you can have social aspects, educational aspects, and it can look beautiful and be a very pleasant place to work. So once you combine this and get past only profit, such a huge world opens and so many opportunities jump to your mind, where you suddenly start to think, okay, I'm building a piece of infrastructure, and it is really important to do it well, because it will be the base for urban entrepreneurs to make a living and live a healthy and happy life. So suddenly you are on a huge mission. Let's take a look at the traditional value chain, because at the moment, still the majority of our groceries is coming through them, and our groceries travel long distances. So we have an average of 1,500 food miles on our groceries. You do not really know where it comes from. Also, your local vendor doesn't know this. And plants start to internally degrade. So you have a significant difference in nutritional content that you actually get. Imagine on the contrast, you could harvest it yourself or have it hyper-local. You will have all the varieties that you will never find in any supermarket, because it doesn't survive this kind of traditional value chain. And you know your grower, you know that he's growing these things in a sustainable way. What kinds of pesticides is he using? Is he using beneficial insects instead, which is much better? It's absolutely time to disrupt the way we are growing and distributing plants. And it's fantastic if we could move this where the end consumers actually are, which is in the city, the urban area. And you can support this movement not only if you're a grower or an activist, you can support it immediately. Use your wallet and vote relentlessly what you buy and what you consume. Let's get practical. Take a look at the system. So there's lots of vertical systems and options out there. Most of the times the large farms are starting to build rack systems. It introduces a lot of challenges. For a certain height you need scissor lifts, microclimate management is going to be difficult, and you need to use electricity to light every level. So that's why I wanted to provide a different kind of shape. And the idea behind it is that I was imagining vertical cylinders which have a certain diameter to maximize the number of grow spaces possible in your three-dimensional room. But the big idea is you can use one or multiple of those units, but they are all based on repeatable Lego pieces. And these Lego pieces come in different shapes. Basically, there's a completely closed one with no grow space, there's one which has a center grow space, and there's one piece with two grow spaces. And by assembling these ones in an exchangeable way, you can configure your vertical cylinder in terms of plant spacing and the shape of your plant. And depending on how many ring segments you stack on the thing, you can define how high it is. So again, if you use one or you use multiple, you have lots of grow spaces, maximize number of grow spaces in a three-dimensional room. Everything is movable and we can use natural sunlight. So this was a really important step for me to have this alternative to the smaller towers out there and to introduce lots of flexibility. Once you understand it's just building blocks, you can come up with your own idea how to actually use it in your special case. You can hang the thing, you can put it on the ground, you can use an external reservoir, you can use it with substrate. And once you understand, oh, it's just building blocks, I can build whatever I like. Yes, do it. And if you need a hole, drill it. And that's basically what the Aponix system is. It's just building blocks to set up a lot of grow spaces, preferably soilless. The source of your nutrients is also up to you. You can use organic with your aquaponic system or another organic source, or you can go the traditional hydroponic way and just use mineral fertilizer. With regard to irrigation, there's also different options. So the most low-tech version would be to put a kind of dish on the top of your unit. We call it the water buffer. It can be filled in various ways. The simplest version would be just a small submergible pump with a few watts of power. You can run it with a solar panel if you like. There's also more sophisticated nozzle versions where you need a pressure line to run it. We just built a Netafim adapter where you can use all the Netafim spray nozzles and integrate it for irrigation. That's really cool, but there's also others, from aeroponics to vertical drip. It's just building blocks. But there's also missing pieces still. So we provide the grow space, but there's no standard light yet for round surfaces. There's no automation yet, and there's no best practice procedures yet. So we will need help and strategic partners to build that, and we are just doing this with a Dutch company for a larger facility in Dubai, which is really, really cool. If you like to add something or you find, okay, I can add the automation and build a kebab shaver for the lettuce, let's do it. You can reach me anytime over the website. It's Aponix.eu or the email is hello@aponix.eu. So if you were listening carefully, you might have noticed that it's all about SDG number 2. Zero hunger, of course. But it's also about number 3, good health. It's also about number 4, good education. It's also about number 8, decent work. Or number 9, infrastructure and innovation. And of course, it's about number 11, sustainable cities. And it's also about number 12, responsible consumption and production. And of course, it's also about number 13, climate action. So get ready. Roll your sleeves up, go out, do something. There's lots of work to do. I wish you all the best. See you out there and have a great day.